Okay, good morning, kids. I was listening to my team members talking now about their life stories, their history, the things that they've experienced. So what I was thinking that I'll speak to you, what I'll speak to you about is my life story today as it is. My name is Chris. I'm an addiction counselor at Bread of Life Healing Ministry. So we work in rehabilitation, as Tbogo explained this morning, where persons with substance abuse or addiction problems come for treatment. So my daily life entails working with you guys 10 years from now, if you continue on this road. I work with people on a daily basis that are in their 20s, in their 30s, in their 40s, half or more of their lives passed with nothing to show for it. Because smoking dacha in school is cool. It's what the popular kids are doing. What you don't realize where you are sitting right now, grade 8, beginning of your high school career, this is where you start to mature emotionally, where you develop life skills, where you need to start taking care of your body because you don't stay young and fit as you used to. And it starts with something small like dacha. It doesn't seem like it's a big thing, it's legal, everyone else is doing it, so I don't see the harm in smoking once a week or once a day. You don't realize the extent of the problem. It can take a few different routes. The one way that it can go is you stick with your dacha and your alcohol, drinking once a week, every day, sort of just having fun with that and not seeing the severity of it. Now what happens in a few different ways. If I speak about psycho-emotional, meaning your way of thinking and your way of processing emotions, when you start using addictive substances, your emotional growth stops. Okay? So you don't know how to deal with emotions, you don't know how to connect with other people on an emotional level because you're numbed and you can't feel and you can't process. Your mind, which is supposed to develop at this stage where you are now, slows down, stops developing. Your ability to reason, to learn, to comprehend information stops. What happens then is you sit out the next 5 years of your high school career. You maybe finish matric, maybe not, and you've got nothing to show for it because you didn't learn anything, you didn't develop emotionally. When I look at behavioral aspects, this is the time of your life when you develop new skills, get hobbies, start developing yourself as an individual. But when you get stuck in the addiction part, meaning smoking dacha, drinking alcohol, you don't spend time on developing yourself. So that by the time you reach your 20s, you're no one. You don't have a personality, you don't have attributes, you don't have skills, you don't have talents, because you've wasted the past 5 or so years of your life. And you're basically, let's just call it a boring person because you've got nothing that makes you unique, nothing that you developed, nothing that you worked on. Let's take it about 5 or 10 years later. Now you're reaching your 30s. Still smoking dacha, still drinking alcohol, still not developing skills. You can't maintain a career or a job or your studies. So now you're in your 30s and you've got nothing to show for your life. Nothing. You see those guys sitting by the shebeen, smoking a joint, drinking a beer. That's their life. There's no joy in it, no success in it, nothing to show for it. But you don't realize this where you are sitting now. You think, oh, it's just a joint, or oh, it's just a beer. And nothing else will go wrong. The other route that it can follow, as we heard this morning, is harder drugs. So all of a sudden the dacha and the alcohol isn't enough anymore. Now I start experimenting with other things. Maybe ecstasy here, or nyalpe there, or crystal meth there. Again, thinking, oh, it's not so bad. It's only once or twice. When you follow this route, this is where the addiction really starts to steal everything from you. Because you're unable to live a healthy life, whether it's physical or emotional. You start tearing down your own well-being, the well-being of your family that cares for you, your friendships, because you can't maintain any of these things. Addiction becomes much more important than the people around you and eventually than yourself. It starts becoming your highest priority in life. I'm not exaggerating when I say you'll trade your one meal that you can maybe eat in the day for a fix of your drug. You'll even stop eating to maintain your addiction. But we don't realize this where we are sitting now, thinking, oh, it's just a joint or it's just a beer. I don't want to say the worst one, but the most challenging one for me to face, that is very easy to happen to any one of you sitting here, because it can't be predicted and it can't be controlled. It's something that's loosely called psychosis. I don't know if any of you have ever heard of that. I'm sure you've seen on movies and on TV and on series these people that seem crazy, talking to themselves, laughing by themselves, losing touch with reality, sort of just wandering the streets, that don't seem to comprehend what's going on around them. Dagga, I need to tell you today, is one of the, in my experience, one of the biggest causes of what's called psychosis. You think at this stage, I'm just smoking a joint every now and then and nothing will go wrong. The one time, and it's really that one time, that it adversely affects the chemicals in your brains and you're out of it. Now, I don't think many of you can imagine living your life not knowing what's going on around you, hearing all sorts of voices, seeing all sorts of things that the people around you don't see, and you've lost touch with reality. Maybe at the age of 15 or 18, you reach this point. And you're stuck there. Sure, there are certain treatments, but you'll never make a success of your life. You'll never be able to maintain a job or build a family. You'll never be able to study further, to develop yourself. Or because of decisions that I make now, thinking, oh, but Dagga is legal and it's cool and it can't be that bad. The decisions that you are making now, and we're speaking specifically about drug awareness, so I won't get into other areas, thinking that, oh, only drinking a beer isn't so bad, or smoking Dagga can't be that bad. While you are getting stuck in addiction, meaning when it goes from maybe one joint once a week to having to smoke every day, you don't realize what's going on. Addiction isn't something that's on or off. It grows on you systematically. So if you don't listen and pay attention to the sort of testimonies that we heard this morning, you won't be able to identify in your own life when you're starting to go downhill into addiction. Because for a lot of the time, it's fun and it's cool and it's just to relax and it's just for fun and it's not so severe or not so bad. 5 years later, when someone tells you you've got a problem, you still say, oh, it's not so bad, I've got it under control, I can stop whenever I want. 10 years later, when the person who's sitting next to you today has got a family, has got a career, has got their own house, you're living by mom, begging for 10 rand to go and buy some Dagga. Nothing to show for your life. When the people around you are getting married, going on holidays, you're sitting outside the Sabie, because that's what your life has come to. And you don't realize it before you get into that moment. So, besides the awareness that we are raising today, I also want to encourage you to reach out for help when it comes to addiction. whether your reasoning for yourself be that it's just for fun and I can stop whenever I want, or whether your reason for smoking or for drinking is that you have trouble at home, or you're bored, or whatever it may be. If you find yourself in this position where you are using any mind-altering substance, so whether it's dagga or alcohol or any other drug, I encourage you today to reach out for help. I'm sure that in your school you've got teachers and counselors that are willing to listen and assist you. A lot of the times we don't want to go to our families to admit to this problem. But I'm sure in your school at least you've got support that you can reach out to, so that you can now, while it's still in time, step in to curb this problem of addiction that without any doubt, without any gray area, without any exclusion, will destroy the rest of your life. You might be thinking, oh, it goes like that for everyone else, but not me. I'm smarter, I'm stronger, I'm more able. I can control this, dagga, alcohol, drugs, whatever you want to call it. That sort of mindset is exactly the thing that keeps you in addiction for 20, 30, 40 years. I see it daily. People in their 40s and 50s, older generation, nothing to show for their life. Oh, I drink and I smoke dagga. That's my life. No family, no job, no place to stay, because of the decisions they made while they were where you are now. So I encourage you today, firstly, to abstain. If you haven't started on that route, don't even go there. Secondly, if you are in trouble, and I'll call it being in trouble, smoking or drinking, I encourage you to take action today, to reach out for help, to get yourself out of this trap, which is going to cost the rest of your future. Thank you.